Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Terra Tech. And on this episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. Now, for those of you who may have missed the last episode, we decided to go ahead and start the game over again so that we could take advantage of the new features that they've been incorporating into the game. As I've mentioned before, you kind of have to do that at some point because they will add new things into the game your old save game will not take into account. And so until you restart it, you won't get to take part in all that cool stuff. And as you can see, they've added quite a new cool things. I mean, the sky, you have the moon up there, you have a planet. In fact, the moon is gone now because it's been nighttime for a little bit. You can see there's another planet there in the background. So they are moving. These things are moving up there in the heavens. And what we want to do is go ahead and do what it's telling us to do, which is to use the terminal. And for those of you who've never used the terminal before, it's kind of a cool little thing to have. I definitely appreciate the way it works, and I like it quite a bit. So I'm going to pick that wheel up because we're about to sell that wheel. Now, the way this terminal works is it has 4 pads on it. You can see it right here on the side. Right here on the end of it, next to this computer terminal right here on the corner, you can click on that, and you can buy or look through the catalog of stuff that they have. Right to the right of that, you'll see these 2 little dots, the little white one sitting on that gray little panel. That's where you place items such as the wheels. And I'll go ahead and do that real quick for you guys right here. You'll see it kind of lights up right there. It has a little gray box. You can sell on this side, you can sell over here on this side, or you can sell on this side. All 4 sides can be sold on. However, the way it used to work, and I don't know if it's working this way now with the new patch, that only 1 item can be sold at a time. So you can cover all 4 sides with items, and you can stack them up to, I believe, 10 high when you're using the geocore. I don't know if this one can be stacked or not. And what I mean by stacked is right there where it was selling the item at the end of it, such as this thing right here where you put it, it would be able to go up 10 high, go up into the sky, and 1 item would come down being sold. Another one would sit here on the platform waiting to be sold. And, like I said, only 1 can be sold at a time in the old days. I don't know if that's still the way it is. But we're going to take a look at what can be bought in here. And you can see the GSO pusher plow. We can get those. We can get blocks. It has a little number next to it, a little infinity sign, saying you can buy as many of those as you want. I'm guessing at some point they may have it where certain blocks are not to be bought. Now, the cab is free. You can buy as many of those as you want. Before you decide to go ahead and make yourself what they call a cab, which is a bot designed out of cabs that fires nothing but the weapons of cabs, they suck. They suck really bad, and they cause massive lag. I probably fixed the lag by now, but they still suck. Your cab does not do any damage. It's not worth it. Don't do it. You can try it if you want, but if you want to take my opinion and my word on it, or go back and watch the videos where I've done it, because I have built one before, they just do not work. So that's a thing. Now, the weapons, they don't really cost all that much, but remember, whatever they cost is what you'll get in return. Now, this is the GSO Thimble Tractor Pad. It's one of the smallest ones in the game. It's a standard issue GSO tractor pad for transporting up to 3 resources to a desired destination. And that's what we're going to go ahead and get. But we're going to look around a little bit more before we do that. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and get another repair bubble, they're 169. A shield bubble is 175, and another battery is 173. These things used to be 100, so I guess they've gone up a little bit in price. The generators are 250. Why would you want to look at the price? Well, so you know what items to pick up and bring back to sell, because the higher level, or the higher the price of the item, and if it takes up less space, is the item that you want to pick up. Now, let's see, what else do we have? All this stuff that's grayed out, you can take a look at it, and it will tell you what the name of it is. It won't tell you what it does, but you can kind of get a good idea of what it does by the name. However, you can't buy it because you have not discovered it. You have not killed an enemy that has it and picked it up off of the ground with your cursor and attached it to your bot. Usually all you got to do is pick it up off the ground with your cursor, and it works just fine. Then you can buy it from then on, but I would definitely suggest attaching it to your bot just in case. So let's go ahead and buy one of those. You'll see it pops out the top of it right there, and it was about to be picked up, but I went ahead and snagged it anyways. Now we do have the sunlight coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and recharge. Now, the more of these solar reactors that are connected to it, the faster they will recharge. So that is a thing. You definitely want to have as many of those as possible, or maybe not as possible, because that you can have a lot. But it is a thing that you can use to it. Now, These resources, because this tractor pad is the smallest and therefore the weakest out of all the tractor pads in the game, and there's a number of them out there, they're not going to be able to pick up for very far away. So you're going to want to have the tractor pad on the very bottom of your bot for now. Later on, you can change that up and you can go with something a little bit higher up, and then even further into the game, you'll be able to go up even higher than that. But for now, Trading Station will pay you for the big bucks for the resource chunks. Now, these blue ones out here are not exactly the most common. You're going to get some pretty decent prices on these. However, be very, very aware that if you shoot your gun at them, you can destroy the blocks. So if you want to go out harvesting for a little while, where you're going to make a bot that's just designed to do nothing but harvesting, you're going to want to have the drills on them. Now, we can only pick up 3 at a time, so what we can do is go ahead and snag these. I'll drag them back. It will automatically pick them up. If I drag it right here and drop it, you'll see it picked it up really quickly and put it on there. There is another method if you don't have a lot of money and you're going to go and create a bot that, can pick these things up. You can make a dump truck. Go and destroy some rocks and trees to get resource chunks. Collect the resource chunks in the tractor pad and bring them back to be sold. So let's go ahead and do that. As I get closer to it, you'll see it goes ahead and drags it off of it and starts to sell it. And it looks like it's selling, 1 at a time. It has 2 waiting to be sold. That's 220 for each one of those. As I said, those are rare items to be getting for sure. Purchase a delivery cannon from the block menu. So let's go ahead and go back into that, and we'll find the delivery cannon, which basically does the same thing as this thing, but on a smaller scale. So this is the GSO, I don't even know how to say that, static delivery cannon. So we're going to buy that at 600, and we barely have enough for it, but we have enough for it, which is the main thing. So let's go ahead and attach it to the ground. Awesome. You've arrived. That is the beginning of our base. Grab the delivery cannon and attach it to a solar reactor. Okay, so I'm going to back this up a little bit. One of the things that I have failed to do, or one of the things that I do too often, is that I put my base a little bit too close to that area over there. And the downside to doing that is if you want to drag your bot, like you saw a minute ago, over there to sell things with it, you're going to need space around it, especially as your bot gets bigger and bigger. So the last thing you want to do is have your base so close to it that it's blocking you. And that's one thing that I've kind of done a little bit too much of. In fact, I think this might be a little bit too close still. So let's back it up just a tiny bit more, not too much more, just to give ourselves a little bit more space. Now, it wants us to put a solar reactor connected to it. And the reason behind that is it needs power just like anything else. All the stuff in your equipment and all that things, it needs power. So we're going to go ahead and attach that. It's going to give it power right there. Give it a second. Delivery cannon to the solar reactor. Awesome, you've arrived. Yeah, well, you've already said that. Grab the delivery cannon and attach it to I've attached it to the delivery. I've already done it. There we go, powered by a solar reactor. No? Okay, well then we'll attach the delivery cannon to a solar reactor and see if that will give us the update. Yeah, it just doesn't want to do it. So let's put the other solar reactor to it. Go destroy some rocks and trees. Collect the resource trunks in your tractor pad. All right, now that that's working, let's go ahead and get some more of this stuff. Now, rocks occasionally will drop rocks, which are okay. Trees will drop the wood that you can use for working for your fuel tanks and things of that sort. If you want to. That's later. This is a little more complicated, but you can use the trees to give yourself energy, which will be another source rather than the solar reactors, because the solar reactors only work when it's daylight. So if you happen to be out at night, far away from your base, and there's enemies all around you, you can chop down some trees, destroy some trees, get the resources off of that. You can even go so far as to turn the resources, the wood, into oil that will give you even more energy when you put it into your generator. But again, like I said, that gets a little bit more complicated. So let's back it up into this. Let's see, you will be paid with big B-bucks. Okay, well, let's see if we can drag it into it. There it goes. Resource chunks into your tractor pad. You get the same amount of money that you would get out of the other one, except this one's a little bit more portable in the sense that you can go off and take it with you, where the other one up there, you can't take that with you at all. So with that, you can buy... you can now afford a refinery. So go back to the trading station and buy a refinery. It's taking you through the steps one by one, and I like it because when you first started this game way back when, it didn't have any of these tools for you. So you kind of had to figure these things out for yourself. A refinery unit allows you to refine raw resources into something more valuable. And so we're selling the raw version of these resources right now, but later on when you refine them, you'll get a little bit more value out of them, and they can make better items sometimes. Sometimes you use the raw and the refined versions of the same block in a recipe to make something even more complicated. So you don't always just want the refined version. Sometimes you still want the raw version of that item. And we're going to go ahead and get one receiver as well because we have the cash for it. So let me go ahead and attach that to my bot. Now these, you can always make a base bot. And a base bot, what I mean by that is making a base that is attached to your bot that works as you move around on the map. And that is definitely a thing that you can do. In fact, I'll show you because it's attached to my base right now. And so if I come over here and I get a few more of these items, and we do have to watch out because there's an enemy over there and my batteries are pretty low. I haven't really been keeping up with that too much. It just hasn't really been that thing of, we haven't been doing any combat. So we'll go here and use that drill. I don't want to lose any of these. 220 a piece. They're worth quite a bit. There we go. 3 of them right there. If I get right there next to it, you'll see, oh, the receiver picked it up. And now it should go ahead and put them inside the refinery, although it's not doing it right now. So we'll go back and attach it to my base just to make sure that everything is working right. Now, the thing you need to make sure is that you don't put it too close to your seller over here, this delivery cannon, because if you do, it's going to sell first, and then you won't be able to refine the pieces. So let's see. No, we don't want that to happen. It was about to pick that thing up. Okay, let's put this right over here. Get it close enough. It should pick it up off of that. Nope, the receivers are not as powerful, so let's put it on here. Will it refine it? You know what? I think it needs a... we'll just put it right on it. That way we don't have to do it. Okay, get it a little further away. Put it right on top. There it goes. Okay, so it was just attached to the wrong piece. So let's attach that right there. And now it's nighttime, so we can't even go through and recharge our bubbles and stuff like that, our batteries. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that. But you'll see right here, it can't do anymore because it doesn't have anywhere to put this new refined version of itself. So let's go ahead and attach it to our thing. We'll even show you what it's called. Right there, it's a Celestine crystal, and the raw version of it, which is right here, if I can snag it. Nope, the little lines, the little words are all over it. It won't let me pick that up. Come on, let me pick it up. Ah, seriously? You're not going to let me pick that up, are you? Huh. Yeah, that's being a little difficult right there. But we'll get more of it here in a bit, and you'll see what it's called. If you happen to drag this over here and sell it, which you definitely could do, you'll see you're going to get a little bit more than 220. That's 440, so you're getting twice as much for this item than you were getting before. That is not normally common. I mean, this is a rare resource, to be honest, so that's why you're getting as much as you are. The green one, I think, is a little bit more rare than this one, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that one. You can make this whole system somewhat automated by having the the conveyors go from this object to this object, and so they will start here, get refined, go down the row, and then eventually come over here to be sold. I want to come over here and see if I can actually buy one and see if that's going to be a thing just yet, because we do have a little bit of money. Yeah, there they are right there. These are the conveyors. So I'm going to get a good amount of those. You almost never have enough. If you're going to do an extensive base, which we're going to be doing here fairly soon, you're going to need these. You're going to need these for every step of the way, and for a lot of the steps that you don't even think you're going to need, you're going to need even more. So yeah, my suggestion would be to get quite a few. If you think you have enough, you probably need a few more, and if you don't think you have enough, you definitely want to buy more. So just to have them ready for you. Now, this doesn't need to be as far away as it is, but the further away it is, the less likely you are to have this thing over here, the cannon, pick the items up off of your bot and sell them while you're trying to connect them over here to be refined. Also, the items can be refined, but they also can be taken and crafted into things. So you want a good amount of space between your stuff so that you have room for your items to move around and go in whatever direction you want them to go. Now, as I'm putting these things down, you'll see that there's an arrow pointing in the direction of which the conveyor belt is going to go. if you right click on it, it will change that direction to go into a different way. Now let's go ahead and pick these things up before that snags them. Can we grab it? Nope, it got it first. Okay, so there's one in there. There's one in there. Let's see if we can come over here and get it. I think we're going to need a couple more anyways, but that's all right. Oh, yeah, we're going to build mode. That's right. All right, where is it at? Come on, give me my conveyor. Down here. Yep, there it is. All right, let's put this down right there. Okay, and go out of build mode. Now we're going to need to get, I would say, 3 more. And as I said before, like when I came over here, if you think you have enough, you probably want to get a few more. So, yeah, let's buy a few more of these. And you can see I'm taking some damage because it's shooting them out. And like I said, that's just something you're going to have to get used to in this game. The blocks, they do have mass to them. They do have strength. The certain blocks weigh more than others. That's why you have different corporations. The Geocore weigh the most. They're huge freaking yellow blocks, and you'll see it when they're just really, really heavy. The Venture weigh the least, but they're not the strongest. They're actually the weakest in the game, but they're the fastest for sure. And the GSO are pretty much straight down the center. They are not the strongest, they're not the fastest, but they're not the weakest either. They're just kind of middle ground on that in that regard. So let's see, can we put these? It won't let us really put it there. I wonder why. It's just being difficult, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that works. And you can have multiple inputs with this. So like I said, just kind of play around with it a little bit. Let's go ahead and remove this, and we'll put this to connect to it right about here. And we'll have that connect to it right there. Okay, so that's good. Now, if we go back out, in fact, while I do that, I am going to go ahead and grab one of these just for demonstration purposes. If I can connect it, doesn't seem to want to connect. There we go. It will allow you to hold certain items on there as well. So if you don't have enough tractor pads, you definitely can use those. There we go. We got 3 pieces right there. Let's go ahead and snag those. Didn't get that third one because it's trapped underneath my wheel. There we go. And we'll come over here and get the 3 from this thing as well. Now, do these recharge? Do they come back in the game? Yes and no. Yes, the trees do come back fairly quickly. Do these things come back? Yes, sometimes. Other times, no. You're not going to ever see them come back. So kind of be wary of like what I'm doing, which is getting these objects and then selling them, because you may not get these things again, or at least not in the same spot, at least not very often. So that only carries 1 on it. Forgot about that. Okay, so let's see. What are these things called? These are rhodite ore, and the other ones are cellite shards. Okay, so they turn from shards into crystals. Now, as we come over here, we're going to see the this thing snag some of them and put it on there. Let's do it. Let's get close. There we go. It can only hold 3 at a time, which is why I didn't get that last one. And I don't think it can snag it off of that object anyway, so let's put it on that. And there it goes. Now it's going to go down the list. It changed it into something else, which is a capsule, a rhodite capsule. And we'll see how much you're going to get for that, because it's automatically going to go in there and be sold. There we go. 240 for each one of those. So those are not nearly as worthwhile as the blue ones. So we want to go back and get the other blue ones as quick as possible before, yeah, not before somebody steals them, because nobody's going to steal them, but they do despawn apparently, so we got to kind of watch out for that. That should help with the lag though, actually, if objects aren't staying on the ground as often. However, it's going to kind of mess with you a little bit in going back and getting some really good loot if you just happen to not have the space, because like I said before, the game always had it where everything stayed. And so you have plenty of time to go back and get something. And a lot of the time, if you didn't get it, and then later on down the road, like 2, 3, 4, 6 hours later, you got destroyed, there's just tons of crap laying everywhere that you could rebuild with. So that was kind of cool as well. Okay, so that's going to get refined, and we should be good there. Let's go back, if we can get off of this little kind of spot that we have right there, and snag some more stuff from this thing. Because like I said, I want to work on the base. I know we've done the combat. If you guys want to see that, you're more than welcome to watch those other videos. But I want to work on the base a little bit. It says I need to find a silo, which is up there in front of me. And, you know, of course, it is becoming daytime. So let me put these things down and have them start charging. Because we might actually have to go off and do some combat to find that silo before we can continue any further. Is there anything else I can get? I don't have a fabricator yet. We just don't have a fabricator. There's the fabricator right there. And we need the fabricator before we can make any items. Now, on some of my videos, you guys have listed the items you can make with the materials that are available. That is going to be one of the main things that we cover in this playthrough. It's just all the stuff that you can make with these items. So like I was saying before, if you find items in the game that you have not seen before and you pick them up off the ground, you now have access to those items. The same thing goes if you make the item. If you've never seen that item before and you make the item out of the materials, you now have access to those items and you can buy those items from now on, or you can make more of them. So if you just happen to know of a certain item that's out there that you're just not finding as much, in fact, before we go too far out, I am going to come over here and snag me a couple more of the tractor pads, because it does look like there's some resources out there I wouldn't mind having on my bot to pick up a little bit more money. It's probably too many tractor pads, but we can always sell some of them back if we don't need them. So let's put this one there and that one there. Remember, 3 a piece for now, so not the greatest. There we go. And that one right there. It's going to slow me down a little bit, but not too much. Not until there's actually resources on them, and then it will slow down quite a bit more. But yeah, so you can do several ways. You can do combat-oriented kind of gameplay, or you can simply do it where you build stuff yourself and don't go out as much to do the combat. This guy, where's he going? Is he going straight for my base? He might be. My base is vulnerable at the moment because I don't have any sentry guards up, so he definitely could do some damage over here. I'm firing way, way over his head because my weapons are just slightly above him. Wow, what is he doing? What on earth? I want to kill him because he has a nice tractor pad on him, but if he goes any further, I don't think we're going to be able to catch him. There we go. We got a will off of him. If we can get a few wills off of him, that definitely will slow him down, and we'll be able to catch up to him that way. But look at him go. He is a harvester. That's where he's going. He's going to come back. He's going to come back. So while he's doing that, we'll go over here and tackle this guy. www. Chris 20-something. Didn't get to see it. 20-something 999 or something. There we go. Come on, pick it up. Get it all. Are you dead? He can't move, but his weapon is still able to attack us. And you can see we can plenty easily destroy the other blocks that are laying on the ground, which we don't want to do. There we go. He's dead. I'm going to leave this stuff here. In fact, I'll snag the tractor pads for now, but I'll leave the rest of it here, and I'll come back with that object later and pick up the rest. Hopefully, it will still be here. I want to figure out what the timer is on that since they've done all the updates. I want to figure out if it's going to be a few minutes, if it's going to be 20, 30 minutes, or was I just imagining it earlier where I thought there was a lot more stuff there on the ground. Now, what we were close to over here while we were in that direction was a base. It's an enemy base that you can take over. And the way you take it over is to destroy any of the enemy guys guarding it. There's usually a couple of guys guarding it, like these guys right here, and then there's one harvester. You found a woodstock, a silo base. Let's go ahead and kill this guy as quick as possible. You'll see he has 2 different cabs on him. One of them's an actual cab. The other one is a... can we get it? We have access to it now. We got it. We picked it up. But yeah, one of them is an actual cab. The other one's an AI module. And the AI module is something you need to have on your bot if you want it to be, automated. So you don't have to walk around with it. It will go off and do whatever you want it to do. Now, some of you have suggested that is actually a really cool way to build your bots. I've never been able to get them to work. I'm hoping they've finally gotten that to the point where it works the way it's supposed to, because it is a cool concept and I can't wait to see it. It surrenders. We can pick this stuff up now. In the old days, this you used to have to attack it. You used to have to sit there and attack it until you popped off a piece, and it was very, very dangerous because if you popped it off too much and it got destroyed, well, you just didn't have that piece anymore. So you kind of had to take it very, very easy and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and just one shot, and sometimes even that wasn't enough. So let's go ahead and pick these things up and take them back. Actually, let's move this because I don't want this in front of the... yeah, we're going to grab these things. Hopefully all of them, because that's going to be a lot of money right there. 440 for each one of these. Each one have 3 on them. Let's do a shot. Remember, be careful. You want the pieces. You don't want them being destroyed, and you can destroy them as they fly through the sky. So going slow is the best way. Now let's turn our tractor pads. If we can go backwards, you'll see that these things actually try to go through the base or through our bot, and your bot can take damage while that's going on. In fact, if I put this down and put the batteries on them, as you pick things up, you will see your guy taking damage because it shows you repairing it. And that gives you an idea of just how much damage your bot can take over time. Let's actually put that on there real quick, and you will see, nope, it's not taking any damage right now, which is good. That's the way we want it. What are these things stuck on? I guess they're stuck on the... Oh, they're over here. They're actually on the receiver, so they're not doing any damage. They're where they're supposed to be, sort of. I mean, they're not where they're supposed to be, but they're there where they're actually fitting on. So I don't need to charge these up all the way. I want to get these back to the base as soon as possible so we can start building some pretty cool stuff. Let's do this right there. I'm hoping to get the receiver. I'm hoping this will lead to the receiver, at least. Come on, give me some, give me. One more. There we go. Yep, it's snatching them up. It's snatching them up a lot easier than it used to. All right, let's go back. What is this over here? That's another bot. Find battle block, seek armor tech. That is going to be a main bad guy. It's going to be a boss, which we can definitely take on. The downside to doing that is he's tough. So if you're not ready for him, you're going to lose. So just kind of be prepared for that fight. But you have to do the battle guy before you can progress to the next stage of development. So if you're on, level 1, you're trying to go to level 2, you got to do a battle. If you're on level 2 trying to go to level 3, you got to do a battle. That's just something that's going to be there. Let's go ahead and put these things down. It's going to snag them. What we could do actually is, no, we sold that, didn't we? Yeah, we sold it. Okay, I was going to say we could put some conveyors down right here, so it will go to the... Actually, let's go ahead and snag some of those, because we need that. It's going to go to the conveyor first, or not the conveyor, the receiver, and then go onto the line of conveyors, and as time goes on, it's going to be able to store more stuff. So, yeah, let's go ahead and grab... Wow, that shoots out really fast. Let's put these on, every single one of them. Remember, you always need more than you think you do, especially as you set up your base. You're going to be going through a lot of these suckers. All right, good there. And you could always have a really, really tight base, one that's very tight-knit and just, very well organized to the point where you don't need a lot of these. But I've always found that if you have a lot of them, it gives you the room to breathe. It gives you room to experiment. I guess we can put this over here for now. We have plenty of them, but yeah, it gives you room to experiment and play around with the different ways you can do things. And I don't know, for a beginner, for somebody who's just starting out, I would suggest having them. It's definitely going to be useful to you. Now, you can see I'm going off in this T-shaped right here, and you may be wondering, well, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Well, it's going to allow me to connect multiple of these receivers to the end of it. So I can just drive by, and every single one of these receivers will pull off from the crowd right here and go down this little thing and go down towards the center. Now, if I turn my bot, you'll see right here what exactly I mean by that. Now they're all on there, and I can go off and collect more stuff. Meanwhile, it's going to go down the line one by one, get refined, and then go down the list of being sold. So I don't need to have to sit here and basically watch it and babysit it. Let's see, we're going to put these things down as well. These are, what are they? Does it say? These are node silos. So if I put the node silo right here, some of them will go onto the silo and be stored for later. They won't actually be used, which is kind of what I kind of want right now. I want to store some of those items, so I have a few of them to play around with, both refined and unrefined at the moment. So I think that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and put a few right. We'll put a silo right there. So as the refined ones go down the list, some of them will stand right there and be, ready to use. This one I don't really need, and so it's just taking up power. If I connect that anywhere on this, the power should transfer from the solar reactor to that. However, there is no sun right now, and so there's no sun to charge up. This right here is what I was talking about before. This is the small generator. If you get wood, this will allow you to charge your solar reactor up or not your solar reactor, it'll allow you to charge your batteries up during the nighttime. So there's some wood over here. We're going to come over here and snag some of that real quick, and I'll show you what that does. Pretty cool. Not very efficient. You need a lot of those and a lot of wood kind of on there for the power to stay up, but definitely a source of energy for you. And it's kind of nice that we got one this early on. So 4 pieces of wood out of that. Remember, you can always refine that into more stuff. If you had conveyor belts, these would go from the conveyor belt down to this automatically, but since we don't have any, we'll have to drag it ourselves. Let's put these closer by. I don't think it will pull them off of that, but you can see right there. And if you watch as it goes through it, it's kind of eating through and it's charging up the batteries right there. They are kind of going through more than we can use. So this is just keeping us kind of even Steven right there. We're not building up enough. We're not making any money off of that either. So keep in mind that you could be making money off of that wood. However, the wood is the cheapest stuff in the game. You're not going to make a lot of money. You're not going to break the bank by getting wood, but you will kind of build up at least a little bit of something there. Now, why am I coming back over here? Well, I want to protect my base a little bit. And the best way for me to protect my base is to buy some batteries, some solar or some generators for shields, and bubbles for the protection. So I'm going to buy 2 of each right there. We're going to buy a couple of the batteries. Actually, we're going to buy more than a couple. We'll buy 4 of those, because those need to be able to store up enough power during nighttime to make it to where they still have the shields and stuff on them. Now, that's not always an easy thing to do. This is going to go through all my power right there, but that's all right, because I had very, very little left anyways. So let's come back over here. Now, the solar reactor, the solar generator over here will power them up for me. They will charge these things up during the day. I may have to add more than one, but we'll see exactly how that kind of plays out. And I may have to move these bubbles around as well as time goes on, just so that the whole thing is protected. But I can't see what's protected at the moment because they're not on. So I'm just going to be putting these in different locations, and we'll figure that out as it comes up in the sun. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put these on the outside for now, just because that is not a necessity place for anything to be working. Let's do this right here and this one right here. Now, normally you wouldn't want to put these on the outside because they are very, very explosive. And if the enemy happens to run up into your shields and hits it right here, this whole thing is going to be blowed up. It's going to be destroyed. However, I am going to add more conveyor belts coming out this way. And they're gonna guard this whole area, and I'm gonna have more stuff on this side. So at some point, this should be fine. But for now, it's very, very vulnerable. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. I'm not gonna get into combat until the sun comes up, because I don't want to get destroyed. So I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. I do want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the different type of playthrough than I normally do. Normally I do the combat all the way, but this one, like I said, I wanted to do more building. I wanted to do more with the base because I feel like I've been neglecting that, and some of you have been asking to see more of that, and I'm interested. Now that a lot of it's working really, really well, I want to get more into it. I want to start building my own stuff and just making stuff out of the stuff we have in the game, because that is one of the main reasons I got into this game. I saw that on a video and I'm like, that looks cool. I want to try that. And it's not until now that I've been able to do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.